Heroes Reborn, Episode 11, Send in the Clones. Now, unfortunately, I had no clue that the show was coming back on, so that's why this is just about a week late. So I do apologize for that, but I think this was actually a pretty cool episode. I think not only was it fairly surprising because we actually lost the guy who's pretty much been like I know we have Erica as like our main villain, but honestly, it's her right hand man. Like that guy has been the main problem for everyone, it seems. Like if it hasn't been Luke and his wife attacking somebody, it's been a clone or rarely, Prime, but it's mostly been like, clones all over the freaking place. And this was obviously a prime example of that. And it was surprising that he got killed off. Of course, I don't remember his name. I don't think I even bothered to learn his name because I just never really cared. But it was surprising to see him get killed off in this episode. And more than anything, we have him get killed off, and then that stops. Like Luke is almost shot, so he and Mallina are fine. And then we have it where it's like every other clone destroyed, he's dead. He actually gets decapitated, which is very surprising. But then the one person who is finally able to take him down, we have Katana Girl. It's like, everyone. They said that a lot in this episode. I felt it was kind of surprising. And maybe, I guess it was only twice technically, but it was surprising. It was like, they call it Katana Girl a lot. But, we lose this important character, and admittedly, I wasn't expecting that because I was like, I think she's going to get saved because she was sent into the future, and then, she's taken back and, she's brought back to the present. So I was like, okay, her destiny or whatever is to go to basically the home where all the evils are. I thought that was her destiny because something was going to save her from disappearing. But it seemed like that didn't happen. She vanishes, but I'm still kind of wondering if she's completely gone because they don't explain it. It's like, well, it still didn't technically make a lot of sense that she got sent into the future because she was inside the game, but somehow she was sent into the future outside of the game. And it's like, okay, well, that happened. And then, for whatever reason, she just started to disappear. And I guess it's because she technically got killed, and that was the only way to get Hero, free. But it still kind of didn't make sense. I was like, okay, well, she still got sent into the future, which is crazy. And then poof, now she's starting to like digitize and vanish. So it does make me wonder. I'm still questioning whether or not she's actually gone, and if there's some way that they can save her because like just the way they did it in this episode was very weird. I was like, okay, well, maybe there's a possibility, and we still have Ren, who, he's kind of just out there. We don't really see him in this episode, but he's still there, and that's kind of, they still have their storyline, and his whole thing after he saw her father, or the construct of her father, his mission now is to find her and save her. So I'm wondering if they'll do that. And it's like, surprise, she completely vanished for a second time. From when she went into the future. So she vanishes again, but somehow she gets saved. So maybe she did just end up going back into the game. So I don't know. Maybe that's the case. Maybe there was something. It's kind of a mix because it looked like it kind of looked like she was being deleted and stuff like that, but I don't know. At the same time, whenever she took out the katana, she would always digitize as well, and maybe there's something with that. Like she doesn't have it, at this point. So I don't know. They could kind of do whatever they want because she's literally a character that comes from a video game and is turned into the construct, of this girl that is in danger or really close to dying. So they could kind of go anywhere with what they did to her. So I'm still kind of iffy that she's actually gone. I kind of don't think she is. I think they're gonna actually show us like, hey, she's still alive in some regard. Like she might have just honestly gone back into the game, and then she'll be found there, and it's like, yep, totally fine. But I don't know. It might not be that simple. They might have to actually search for her. But I thought that was pretty cool. Then of course we have Luke and Mallina without Noah, which we don't get any hint as to who saved him. It has to be Hero. I feel like it just has to be. So they're kind of off doing their thing, and then of course they get tracked down by the clones, or by one of the clones. Or no, there were two. There were two clones, Quentin and then his sister. And we kind of get good Quentin back in this episode because he's talking about how he doesn't want to kill Mallina. and it's like, oh, she's only a little bit younger than you, and how you're okay with this. And his sister was very, stick to the plan style. Like Luke threatens her and stuff, and he got super pissed because she was the one that caused the darkness over the Evo summon and everything. And I just thought it was pretty cool. I liked that scene, and he kind of reverted back to being his good self a little bit because he was ultimately, that kind of went back to him just doing something to save his sister because that's who he cared about. It wasn't really for himself. It was to protect his sister. And I liked that. I thought it was cool that, with him being like him being the butterfly through this new timeline, that was kind of cool. It showed that he wasn't exactly just instantly evil, and Erica convinced him 100%. This is the plan and it's perfect. So I actually like that idea. I don't think it'll ultimately matter too much. We only have 2 episodes left, and I don't think it'll really matter that that was like his one thing. But everyone's kind of headed to Odessa at this point, so it might matter. It might matter that he might die again. Honestly, he might end up sacrificing himself again to save his sister, because he'll be like, even though he's one of the bad guys, that might happen. Or he might get killed by his sister again because he'll ultimately turn good, which I think would be very interesting if that's how they did it. And that would really suck. And I think I mentioned that before when he first came back, because it was like, oh, he got killed by his sister in one timeline, and then in this new timeline, he's a bad guy. But considering he's still kind of a good guy and stuff, and he gives up the information at least to save his sister, that could turn her against him, because she does, like, she's flat out evil. And it's not like it's not like the first timeline, because she had her brother, and in the first timeline it was like complete and utter, a breakdown of her mental, capacities. Like, they just tore her down and controlled her, and she didn't even recognize him in the first timeline, and that's kind of why she killed him. She was just kind of doing the mission. And then in this timeline, she's still really bad, but she has her brother, so it's like they didn't have to tear her down mentally because she had her brother there, but she still ended up kind of just being evil anyway. Like that, like no matter what, she was just going to end up being one of the villains. So this time it's just kind of by choice. So I find that interesting, and that might, because of that choice, still lead her against her brother and ultimately killing him, which, once again, like I said, that would suck. But I don't know, some things kind of just happen in the same way, like her being evil, not in the exact same way, but ultimately she's still evil, and ultimately he could still die by her hand. So that could be a possibility. It could ultimately work out fine, but she did seem really pissed off at him that he gave up the information, even if it was to save her life. So I feel like that kind of might be where they're headed with that. So they're headed there. We have basically the whole compound gets freed. I thought it was interesting the way they did that. Everyone's kind of just gone, and we just end up with like 4 people in a car. Like, that's pretty much how that goes. We have our 4 main people. They save Micah in this episode, so he finally gets rescued. He puts out the info on Erica, and it's like, she's bad. This wasn't Mohinder. It was actually some random dude who's way shorter. I thought it was funny how they did it. It wasn't just someone the same height or anything. It was just like this shorter white guy. And I just thought it was kind of funny that it was such a drastic difference. I feel like they did that on purpose, just to be like, this is how insanely different this person looks than Mohinder Suresh. But he puts that information out there. They escape. Everyone else is just like gone. Like, well, I guess with all the clones gone, they didn't have to show that big fight that they were kind of planning for. And everyone's gone. Unfortunately, the only person that doesn't make it out is the father. And excuse me, he had a pretty cool moment when he helped kill one of the clones, and he like basically just like, I don't even know exactly what he did, because he's just made out of smoke. So I'm like, is he like choking him physically, or is it just like smoke inhalation is killing him? But I thought that was a pretty cool moment. It sucked that he got shot, because it was just like he helped take out one of the clones, and and I love the way they did it, because he stopped him, and then he just gets punched so hard he just explodes into smoke, and then this random guy comes in and he just shoots him like straight in the heart, and I was like, man, that really sucks. I thought all of them were gonna escape, and I was like, man, that really blows, because it was just like it felt like it didn't need to happen, but it did obviously build up sort of some sad tension, I guess. But it was a pretty cool. Ultimately, it was a pretty cool escape because they had a lot of cool moments. Um, I'm totally drawing a blank on the guy's name. I can't even think of his superhero name at this point. But they have the scene where he actually gets his brother back, which is pretty cool because his brother was still kind of freaking out and stuff. But he ultimately like walks through the wall and everything. And then they have like the scene before that where he's with, of course I can't remember her name either, but they're both going through together and they're like doing their whole army thing. He's like this and they're doing like the signals and stuff, and they go up against the clones and she goes invisible and he takes out one and she takes out one and then he takes out the final one. And I was like, this is pretty cool. I like the way that they're doing this. And then they have it split where Taylor and Renee are going to meet Matt, and that was another crazy thing after Matt kind of like messed with Renee's mind, he wasn't anywhere in the episode. Like, no one even ran into him anymore. He was just like, he walked away and he was gone. And now Taylor's with Matt and they're on their way to Odessa as well. And so he knows about the baby and he's trying to make sure that he's on the list and he's going to threaten Taylor's life and her baby's life so that he can make sure that he gets taken into the future. So that was pretty interesting. Like, I don't know if Renee's going to come back in these next two episodes because ultimately he was just told to go home. So I don't know if he'll get there and then it's like, crap, now I got to turn around and like find my way to Odessa. But I thought that was interesting that was how they kind of played that. He gets shot in the ear and then that kind of disrupts his power, and then Matt takes hold of both of them and he's like, you get the heck out of here. You just walk away. And then, he kidnaps Taylor to use as leverage for himself. So I was like, that was pretty cool. And then I think they were like 1,500 miles. I think they were 1,500 and so was basically everyone from the compound is like 1,500 miles away. So they're going to get there at about the same time. Then we have Luke and Mallina. They're going to get there with Quentin and his sister. I think they were probably the closest. I think they were only like 500 or 600 or something like that. So everyone's going to get there, and it's going to be pretty interesting to see exactly how bad things get once everyone's ultimately together. And we still have to see what happens with Noah, and I'm pretty sure it's got to be Hero, or maybe it would be like a future version, which would be very interesting if it was a future version of Tommy. That would be really interesting if that's how that took place, but I don't know. He's gone somewhere and everyone's kind of headed to Odessa. We have Erica, who knew that Tommy was playing both sides of the field, but I guess it doesn't matter now because after Micah put that footage on, it's like, well, it's not like I can act like nothing's wrong now because everyone on Earth has seen this footage. So ultimately, I guess it doesn't matter. But I guess he's still gonna act like it doesn't matter. And they mention the watches in this episode where he sits in the chair, they expand his powers, everyone wearing the watch instantly goes straight to the future. And by the end of this episode, the first wave gets sent out towards Earth, and it's going to wipe out North America, as Micah put it, and then wave 2, which I believe he said was going to be like 20 or 30 minutes later, or something like that. That one would wipe out the entire planet. That would take everyone out, or wipe out mankind on the planet, not the entire planet. So it would be interesting. I don't know what to expect for these next two episodes, but I'm looking forward to them. I think we'll probably end up getting Noah in the next episode. If not, it'll be interesting to see why. Like he vanishes and then he doesn't show up for, 2 full episodes until the final. So I'm looking forward to seeing that exact answer because he gets taken away and it's not like, poof, he's taken away and then whoever saved him comes back for Mallina and Luke. And if anyone wouldn't come back and instantly save somebody, it's going to be Hero. Because he's going to be in a million different timelines at once and be like, alright, this works, that works, this doesn't work. He'll do what he did against the clones and be like, every effect that I change is makes a way worse future. So maybe he's seen something and it's like everyone just has to meet up and crazy battle. Some people live, some people die. Poof, we save the planet. So that has to be the answer because only Hero would do that and not kind of just go right in. He's always like, I'll save this person and then basically stand back and let everything play out until the last minute, and then jump in and be like, now I can come in and save you guys. So we'll see how that plays out, but I think this is a pretty cool episode coming back to it. I didn't realize we only had 3 episodes left. It kind of feels weird that they even had a mid-season finale. When I saw the promo and it was like, there's only 1 episode left until the epic finale, I was like, oh, it's kind of weird they even bothered with the mid-season finale when they could have just ended it. But whatever. I'm still looking forward to it, so it should be interesting. But of course, I want to know what you guys thought about this one. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts, and I want to know what you guys think is going to happen once everyone gets to Odessa, because ultimately we have one person who's Matt, who's going to try to use Taylor as leverage. Then we have basically 2 other groups of people coming in to stop Erica. So it's like we have about 8 people coming in to stop her, because we have 4 in one car. They all try to stop her. Then we have Mallina and Luke. Then we have possibly Tommy. I don't know. It's still kind of iffy trying to figure out what's going to happen there. I guess technically 9 if you count Taylor herself. And then, possibly 10 and 11 if you count Hero and Noah, depending on exactly what happens with them. But there's a lot of crazy possibilities. Like I said, some people living, some people not living. I think that's very likely that not everyone's going to make it out of this one alive. We already saw that once in this episode, possibly twice, depending on what they did with Katana Girl. But I'm looking forward to it no matter what. I think it'll be an interesting conclusion, especially with the all the storms and stuff actually taking place in the next episode. It slightly started in this one, but it seems like it's really going to be the big issue for the next episode, just getting from one place to the next. And then we also have Luke's wife. I totally forgot about that. Erica totally lied straight to her face, like, I didn't cause that event to happen whatsoever, which I guess they were keeping her in handcuffs during that whole footage thing, so she didn't get to see that happen. That's the only explanation, because otherwise, she totally would have just went in there and, like, just choked her once she was out of those handcuffs. So I'm just going to assume they kept her locked up and she didn't get to see that video, kind of take place. But that should be interesting as well. Like, I don't know. I think she might get killed. I don't know. Who knows? Luke could get killed. You never really know. So, looking forward to that as well. But like I said, I want to know your guesses for what's going to happen once everyone's kind of hit, each other in this epicenter. Who will live? Who will die? How are they going to ultimately save the world? Because right now, it's kind of looking like they aren't going to be able to actually stop things. But they still do have, Tommy and Mallina together. And that's going to do something. We still don't really know. But right now it's seeming like, all right, he just kind of has to go with the motion and save as many people as he can, because he has no idea that his sister's, trying to get to him so that they can actually save the world. But I want to know your guesses, so please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.